everyone, and welcome to a Planning for Success workshop. So, these workshops are designed to hopefully help you get started and get set up for a new trimester, but hopefully, it can help you out throughout your academic journey here at university as well. This is a series of 3 workshops. This is the first of them, and each one is really designed to talk through a topic or an idea that can hopefully support you this trimester.
Awesome. So, hi guys, I'm Shay. I am a boat mentor and I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Biomedical Science. So, I'm in my final year, and I've been here for quite a bit. I previously started another degree at a different university and I moved to Griffith and started a new degree here as well. So, it's definitely been a bit of a bumpy journey, lots of learning curves, lots of trialing different things. So hopefully it can bring a little bit of that to these workshops for you guys.
Yeah, my name is Pauline and I am also one of your boat mentors. Like Shay, I'm actually a mature age student. I actually had about 10 years break between studies. So when I came in, I really had to relearn how to be a student. I did not know how to study or even how to set myself up to study, to be honest, especially for a new trimester. You'll also see another lady on the screen. You'll see Jackie. Unfortunately, she's not with us today filming this. Nevertheless, she is actually your student retention and pass coordinator. So she does a lot of work behind the scenes to support students, student success especially.
So hopefully, if you ever need to get in contact with her, you've got her name, and after that should be all right to search her up somewhere on Griffith. All right, we'll jump right into it then.
All right, okay. So first thing to do, I suppose, in a new trimester is to really check the academic calendar. So there's a lot of information in an academic calendar, and by all means, read through all of them. But 2 main things that you really need to take away from that are your census date, as well as the last day to withdraw without academic penalty. So census date, obviously last day to withdraw without financial penalty, really, really important date. It's usually highlighted in blue as well, or in whatever color they choose to do it. But for trimester 1, 2021, that will be April 4. Last date to withdraw without academic penalty in trimester 1, 2021 will be May 9. If you're watching this in another academic year or in another trimester, by all means, please check your academic calendar. But really important takeaway would be to check out those 2 dates.
You'll be surprised what's on there. There's some interesting dates as well. So I think the big thing about this workshop will definitely be discussing things that are going to prepare you ahead of a trimester, but don't be scared if you're already in the middle of a trimester. These are things that are important throughout. So these are going to hopefully orientate you and help you have a bit of an understanding of how your trimester is going to go. And I think the major component of that is a course profile. So hopefully you've heard about course profiles before. If you haven't, it's all right. That's why we're here. Hopefully you'll have a look at them now. So your course profile is really going to detail exactly how your course is going to progress over the trimester. So we'll dive into a bit more of the specifics on the next part. So and I think we just wanted to reiterate with this slide that 1, review your course profile, and we'll get into that. And to start planning ahead. So whether you're in week 1 or week 4 or week 6, you can still plan ahead. It's not the end of the trimester yet. And to also make sure that you don't disregard those assessment items that have smaller weightings. Sometimes we find, it's 2%, whatever, no big deal, but
they're a big deal to me.
Every little thing adds up, and it really comes into I guess having a bit of a tactic of how you're going to approach the trimester. So I know that for Pauline and I, we put a lot of emphasis on those tiny weightings, because I know, especially for me, when I get to an exam, it's a very stressful time, and I know I can make silly mistakes. I can misread questions. I might put all my MCQs in the wrong box, but it's easy to stuff up in a situation like that. So really preparing ahead, trying not to lose marks when you can, is always going to put you in a better position. So let's kind of dive into it. So if you haven't gone onto your course site, that's probably where we need to start here. So going on to Learning at Griffith and going into the particular course that you're wanting to see the course profile for. So when you go into that, on the left-hand side of the course site, you should always see this big black
menu?
Menu, I guess.
Yeah, look at the menu.
And your course profile link should be listed in there. And when you click on that, pulls up this other box. It's a bit weird. It's like another link that you have to click on. And so you click on that one, and hopefully that one will open in a new window. And I've got a look into the side there where it lists what's in the course profile. So you've got your course information, aims and outcomes, all that stuff that's listed there. But what we really want to emphasize here is the learning activities and the assessment plan. So most people who have seen a course profile have definitely seen the assessment plan, but we often neglect what's put into the learning activities. So that's kind of something I want to talk about here. And I think moving into a trimester, sometimes we kind of just take it week by week. And although that works for some people, and it really does work for some people, as long as they have their assessment plan down, I think it's also important to understand the general direction of your course throughout the entire trimester. And this is where you'll find that information. So hopefully your course convener has put some detail in here. It really varies between courses. I've got a really lovely detailed one for human biology, which was by Charlie Willis, who's done all this course profile. So she's really detailed exactly what's going on in each week, what you're expected to come out of that week with, and what you should be able to do. So this is basically like a checklist that you can have for yourself of, am I doing this? Can I do this? Can I make questions about this? Can I write review sheets about this? This is something that's really going to prompt how you study and what you study. So not everything we get in a trimester is going to be accessible, and not everything can be assessed. You learn a lot over 12 weeks. So this will help really emphasize what's important. So if you haven't looked, definitely recommend looking at that one as well. And as we all know, the assessment plan, super, super important. This is where you're going to find all the details about what assessment you're going to sit within the trimester. So it'll have the name of it, the type, dates, weighting, everything. And then going back to those learning objectives and learning outcomes, that's also listed there as well. So you should get a nice big table where everything is summarized, and that's really good to just get a start on what that assessment is, kind of having a general idea of how they're spread out throughout the trimester and whether you have lots that are close together. But don't just rely on the summary table. Really go down into that assessment detail section and see how it's broken down. You should be able to have more information in there about what the actual assessment is basically trying to do. So and they really detail whether you'll just have multiple choice, whether you have short answer, long response, whether it's an oral presentation, whatever type of assessment you have. This is that nitty-gritty details that you're going to want to know and you're going to want to write down somewhere. So I think we're really going to jump into looking at an assessment planner. I'll just skip ahead actually. So this is really good in conjunction with that assessment plan, is taking out all that important information. So not just for the one course, really putting all your courses together. And so you can have a broad overview of where things kind of get busy. So I think for most people, week 6, 7, 8, 9 is a pretty hectic time. And it's easier to prepare and spend a lot of time early in the trimester making sure that you'll set yourself up for success in those weeks by creating something like this assessment planner. I can easily see on this one that we've got some big exams at the end. We definitely have a few assessments due around week 9, 10, 11. So knowing that, it's a lot easier to go, okay, well, I definitely shouldn't be throwing a party in week 9, you know? It's probably not going to be the smartest thing. I mean, if you're really good with time management, maybe you got to watch that workshop video. But I think if you haven't done something like this, this can really help when things start to get hectic. It's very grounding to just be able to come in and go, okay, so I'm up to here and I have these assessment to go, and you don't have to come and collate it all again and go into those course profiles again and again and again. Doing it right at the start is the best thing you could possibly do. So I'll go back to that last one now. So when I was talking about those learning outcomes and objectives and activities that are within the course profile, this is my example of what I do with that information. And this is half from the course profile and also portions from lectures themselves. So this is really collating that checklist that I basically talked about of what you need to know and what you should be able to do, and just having that written down somewhere, a quick reference. Like I said, it's a bit difficult constantly going back into a course profile. So if you do this once, you should hopefully be in a much better position to stay orientated, to stay on top of things throughout the entire trimester.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
those are really, really great tips, and a really great way to set you up for the new trimester. Checking those course profiles are really, really important. And in case you are looking for extra resources and support, don't forget that you always have the university programs that can really help you out. We've listed a few here. One of them would be the peer-assisted study sessions, aka PASS. We all love PASS. PASS is basically a really, really great way to study in a group setting, really minimize the time, or really amplify what you actually get out of a group study session.
It's kind of like those study sessions you have with your friends, but instead of turning up and being like, oh, should we do this? Oh, should we do that? You've come in and someone's already got activities ready for you. So it's really going to make a really effective use of your time. An hour is equivalent to 4 hours of personal study. So I don't know about you, but that's pretty insane. I really regretted not going to PASS in my first trimester.
100%.
I did not go. And then in my second trimester, I went in my first year. And it completely changed just the time commitment I needed at university. I could review 3-4 topics in a single PASS session that would take me an entire day or two on my own. So I would really highly recommend it.
Yeah. Also, we have the Griffith Mentor Study Support. So PASS, unfortunately, is only available during majority first year, some second year courses now.
A little bit.
Yeah, some second year courses
if
now.
you're lucky.
Not all. So in case you are still needing some help, especially academically, we also have the study support team, so they can help you with assignment writing, finding good ways to reference, or even just finding good ways to actually structure reports or essays or things like that. You also have the back on academic track team. That would be us. We are your boat mentors. And again, we are here to support you if you do need to get back on academic track. So if you're finding university difficult, if you've come across any issues, come to us. We are more than happy to help. If we can't help you ourselves, we will definitely direct you to the right people anyway. And finally, for all other inquiries, for all other questions that no one else can answer, you always have the student support team. That's Student Connect, Student Support, Student Administration, whatever you want to call them. They can pretty much help with anything else. And finally, we have the Student Success Guide to kind of walk you through the key indicators for success that the university has found that can actually help you succeed here at university. So the things that you actually need to do or that you should take off your list for you to be successful in university.
Especially if you want to, a big thing with university is engagement and really jumping in and making the most of the opportunities.
Yeah.
So this guide also details how you can kind of do that, how you can go beyond just your studies, what other support is there, what's going to really direct you, not just through your first year or a bumpy trimester, but through your entire degree, and maybe even on beyond that. Yeah. It's really key things that are important and transferable across a lot of different areas in your life. This is an important one. So I think this is something that's really important to highlight. It's not often discussed, and this can really be life-changing for a lot of people. So there is a thing called withdrawal due to special circumstances, and this is an application you can make, and you can put it in after census date. So we did talk about census date, and that being a really key and really important date for you to know when you should either drop a course or drop multiple courses, whatever works for you. But sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes things are hectic, not just then, but throughout that trimester. And these are things that you don't expect and you can't prepare for. So you couldn't have known better. You couldn't have performed better. You couldn't have done better. And things just happen. So what do you do there? Now your GPA's impacted, and for a lot of people, it can really feel like a daunting and discouraging thing to happen, especially when you're in difficult circumstances. So with this application, if you do meet the special circumstances as well as what those circumstances, when they have happened, whether they made full impact after census date, and whether they were beyond your control. If you do meet those criteria, then you are able to submit this application. And if it is approved, generally what will happen is you will be withdrawn from that course. So that's what will appear on your academic record. And depending on how the application goes, you can even get your money back. So that's always wonderful for a lot of people.
One thing off your HECS day.
Yeah, exactly. So especially if it's happened again or multiple times or multiple courses. And keep in mind, the worst that's going to happen if you put in an application is it doesn't get approved. So if you're not sure, if you're like, well, I don't really know, do it. Put in the application.
No harm.
Yeah.
No
the worst that's going to happen is you're exactly where you are.
Yeah.
But the best case scenario is you're put in a better position. And for a lot of people, that means boosting their GPA immediately. So put in the application, see where it goes, and you can do this up to 1 year after census date for that trimester that this occurred. So hopefully this is really useful information for you. I know that I had never heard of it before coming into the boat program.
Hardly anyone has. So hopefully having this in this video can really reinforce how useful this can be.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you watch the other videos, you'll hear us talk about it again because we want to make sure everyone knows about this. But have a look up withdrawal due to special circumstances Griffith on Google, and hopefully this should be the first thing that comes up.
So a bit of a checklist before we say goodbye. One would be to check your course profile. So we've talked about this in this video. That would be checking your assessments and your learning activities. Really important to take note of those too. Know when your workshops and lectures are. So use a planner to note those things down. Hint, that will be in the next video.
Lots of planning.
Lots of planning tips in the next video. Plan when you're going to do your assessment. So maybe setting alarm for due dates. Again, that goes within the planning video, but also we'll talk about some techniques that can actually help you out with studying in another video. And finally is to set a reminder for census date. So for this trimester, like we said before, that is 4th of April, 2021. But if you're watching this at another trimester, make sure to check that academic calendar.
Exactly.
And I think that's it from us in this video.
Hopefully you got something out of it. And if you're interested in knowing about planning or specific study skills that you can really incorporate in your life, make sure to check out those other videos. All right.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Bye.